As a brain doctor who has spent decades working with older men, I feel a deep responsibility to share something that most people never hear about until it's too late. When I say this, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to protect you. There is one particular type of exercise that many seniors are unknowingly doing every day, and it dramatically raises your risk of stroke almost overnight. You see, as we get older, the blood vessels in our brain become more delicate. They're not as elastic as they once were, and certain forms of physical strain can actually place dangerous pressure on these vessels. The shocking part is that the very thing you may think is helping you stay strong could, in fact, be putting you at risk. I've seen men in their 60s and 70s proudly telling me about how they push themselves with sudden bursts of heavy lifting, or how they strain while holding their breath during a tough movement, and then, days later, they land in the hospital with dizziness, clotting, or even a minor stroke. This is not about fear, it's about awareness. Not all exercises are harmful. In fact, movement is medicine, and it can literally save your brain, your heart, and your independence. But it's the wrong kind of movement. Exercises that create sudden spikes in blood pressure, that force you to bear down and hold your breath, that are dangerous. These include things like very heavy weightlifting without proper breathing, aggressive isometric holds, or high-intensity bursts done without pacing yourself. If you're over 60, you need to know this. Your brain's blood vessels simply don't tolerate strain the way they did when you were 30. That's why the real secret to protecting your brain isn't about avoiding exercise. It's about learning the right way to move each morning. Now let's connect this to something every man over 60 is dealing with, whether he realizes it or not. Testosterone. Testosterone isn't just the male hormone of youth. It's deeply connected to brain health, blood flow, and energy. As testosterone levels naturally decline with age, the body loses muscle mass more easily. Fat tends to accumulate around the belly, and blood vessels become more vulnerable. Even your mood, memory, and confidence are tied to this hormone. But here's something most men don't know. Low testosterone also makes your brain more sensitive to the wrong kinds of exercise stress. That's because testosterone normally helps regulate vascular tone and blood flow. When it drops, your vessels become stiffer, your blood pressure spikes more dramatically, and your risk of stroke or clotting events increases. Here's the hopeful news. While testosterone does decline, there are completely natural ways to support it through lifestyle. That means you don't need to rely only on pills or injections. You can influence your hormone health every single day through the right habits. The food you eat in the morning, the way you move your body when you first wake up, the exposure you get to sunlight, and even how you breathe. All of these factors directly affect your testosterone levels, your circulation, and your brain resilience. So instead of pushing your body into unsafe exercises, what if I showed you a series of safe, brain-protective habits you can practice each morning? They don't just reduce your stroke risk. They can help restore energy, sharpen memory, and even rekindle that masculine vitality you thought was gone. I want to share with you 5 powerful, science-backed habits you can begin tomorrow morning. These aren't extreme workouts or complicated diets. They're gentle, practical, and designed for men over 60. 1. Gentle blood flow activation instead of strain. The first habit is simple. Replace heavy straining exercises with light dynamic movements that get blood flowing without dangerous spikes in pressure. Think about 5 minutes of slow marching in place, arm circles, or light resistance bands where you exhale during the effort. This keeps your circulation active without stressing delicate vessels. Hydration with electrolytes first thing. When you wake up, your blood is thicker and stickier because you've been without fluids all night. That alone raises your stroke risk. A glass of water with a pinch of sea salt or electrolytes first thing in the morning thins the blood naturally, improves circulation, and reduces clot risk. Morning sunlight exposure. Just 10 minutes of sunlight in the morning does wonders. It resets your circadian rhythm, improves sleep quality, and stimulates testosterone production naturally. More than that, sunlight boosts nitric oxide in your blood vessels, which relaxes them and improves brain blood flow. 4. Protein-rich breakfast with healthy fats. Instead of loading up on sugar or carbs in the morning, start your day with a protein-rich meal, like eggs, Greek yogurt, or a protein shake with a handful of nuts. This stabilizes blood sugar, supports testosterone, and provides steady energy for your brain. 5. Deep breathing or relaxation practice. Finally, never underestimate the power of a few minutes of slow, deep breathing. When you practice exhaling fully, you reduce the stress hormone cortisol and improve oxygen flow to your brain. It also trains your body not to hold its breath during movement, one of the biggest stroke triggers in older men who strain during exercise. Each of these habits is small, but together, they create a protective shield for your brain and blood vessels. You're not just lowering stroke risk, you're actively giving your body what it needs to feel younger, more capable, and more confident. Let me tell you about one of my patients, John. He's 67 years old, retired, and when I first met him, he was proud of how much he could still bench press at the gym. But he also came to me with dizzy spells and headaches. After reviewing his routine, I realized he was holding his breath while lifting heavy weights, a dangerous combination for his blood pressure and brain vessels. I asked him to make a few changes. Scale back the heavy lifts, start his mornings with light resistance bands, hydrate before coffee, and add a protein-rich breakfast. Within weeks, not only did his dizzy spells disappear, but he told me his energy actually increased. He could still enjoy his workouts without putting his brain at risk. Another man, Carlos, age 72, thought his days of feeling strong were over. His testosterone was low, his memory was slipping, and he felt invisible. When I encouraged him to add just 2 new habits, morning sunlight and a 10-minute breathing routine, something changed. Within months, his sleep improved, his mood lifted, and he told me he felt more mentally sharp. His wife even commented that he was more engaged and confident again. These stories aren't miracles. They're proof that the body, even past 60, responds to the right habits, and you can have that same transformation too. So, my friend, here's the truth. Not all exercise is safe for your brain as you age, but that doesn't mean you should stop moving. Quite the opposite. Movement, combined with smart habits, is your greatest ally. What you need to avoid is the dangerous kind of straining, breath-holding exercise that spikes your blood pressure overnight. What you need to embrace are the gentle, daily rituals that protect your blood vessels, boost testosterone, and sharpen your brain. Every single morning, you have the choice to continue with habits that may unknowingly raise your risk, or to step into a routine that could add years of strength, clarity, and independence to your life. I want you to start small. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, drink that glass of water with electrolytes. Step outside into the sunlight, even for just a few minutes. Do a few minutes of light movement while focusing on exhaling during the effort. These aren't just habits, they're investments in your future self. Remember, it's never too late. Your brain is resilient, your body is capable of recovery, and your best years can still be ahead of you. I've seen it with my own patients, and I want you to experience it too. So promise yourself today, no more risky straining exercises, no more skipping the small things. Your brain deserves protection, your body deserves energy, and you deserve to live these years with confidence and vitality. Now, before we close, let me leave you with something even more important than facts and routines, and that is hope. Because if you're a man over 60 watching this, maybe you've felt discouraged at times. Maybe you've noticed your body doesn't respond the way it used to. Maybe you've had moments where you worried about your memory, your strength, or even your future. I want you to know those feelings are normal, but they do not define you. Science shows us that the brain never truly stops adapting. Your blood vessels can grow stronger. Your hormones can rebalance. Your energy can return in ways that surprise you. I've seen men in their 70s start a new chapter of life that's more fulfilling than their 40s, simply because they learned to care for their brain and body with the right habits. You are not too late. In fact, this moment right now might be your turning point. What matters is consistency, not perfection. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle in a single day. Start with one new morning habit, then add another when you're ready. Over time, those small steps compound into powerful results. Lower stroke risk, sharper focus, stronger vitality, and deeper confidence. So here's my challenge to you. Choose just one of the habits we talked about today and make it your new ritual starting tomorrow. Write it down. Commit to it. And when you feel the difference in your energy, in your clarity, in the way your body moves, that's when you'll know you're on the right path. You are not just surviving these years. You have the power to thrive. And your brain, your heart, and your loved ones will thank you for the choices you make today. When I sit with my older patients, one of the things I hear most often is not fear of illness itself, but fear of losing independence. Fear of becoming a burden to their spouse, their children, or their grandchildren. And I understand that deeply. Because health at this stage of life isn't just about you. It's about the people you love and the legacy you want to leave. Taking care of your brain and body today isn't selfish. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give your family. Imagine being able to play with your grandchildren without worrying about dizziness or weakness. Imagine sharing meals with your loved ones without needing constant medical appointments. Imagine being remembered not as someone who faded away quietly, but as the strong, wise, energetic grandfather who inspired everyone around him. That's the power of protecting your brain health and choosing safe, life-giving habits. Every choice you make, whether it's skipping a risky exercise, hydrating in the morning, or taking a slow walk in the sunlight, is like depositing into a health bank account. Over time, these deposits grow. They buy you more years of clarity, mobility, and confidence. And those years are priceless, not just for you, but for the generations who look up to you. I've had patients who thought they were too far gone, only to discover that within months of adopting simple, consistent changes, their families noticed the difference. Their sons and daughters told me, "Dad seems more alive again." And that's what this is all about, not chasing youth, but creating vitality in the years you already have. So let me encourage you, your health choices today ripple outward. They influence not only your brain and body, but also the lives of the people you love most. When you drink that glass of water, when you breathe deeply, when you move safely, you are saying, "I choose life. I choose to be present. I choose to give my best to those I love." That, my friend, is a legacy worth building. Many men I speak with believe that once they've crossed 60, life is about slowing down or simply waiting for health problems to appear. But I want to challenge that idea. What if your 60s and 70s weren't about decline, but about a new chapter? A chapter where you feel clearer in your mind, steadier in your body, and more confident in your daily life than you did even 10 years ago. This isn't wishful thinking. It's what science shows us is possible when you consistently support your brain and body with the right habits. Think of your brain like a garden. If you leave it unattended, weeds grow, Memory slips, energy dips, and health problems creep in. But if you water it daily with healthy routines, sunlight, movement, and nourishing food, it continues to bloom. You're never too old to plant seeds of change. In fact, men over 60 often respond more dramatically to these habits because the contrast is so powerful. A little consistency brings big rewards. Here's the truth: stroke risk, brain fog, low testosterone, and declining vitality are not inevitable. They are signs that your body is asking for support. And by choosing safer exercise, I've seen men at 65 rediscover energy they thought was gone forever. I've seen men at 70 walk with such stability and confidence that their grandchildren couldn't believe their age. And I've seen men at 75 tell me, "Doctor, I finally feel alive again." This isn't magic. It's daily discipline, guided by science and fueled by hope. So as you think about tomorrow morning, ask yourself, what kind of chapter do I want to write? Will it be one of decline or one of strength, clarity, and legacy? The pen is in your hand. Your habits are the ink. And your brain is ready to write a powerful new story, starting now. One truth I've seen again and again in my patients is that the men who thrive after 60 are not the ones who do everything perfectly. They're not the ones running marathons or eating flawless diets. The men who thrive are the ones who stay consistent with small, simple habits every single day. Because the body, and especially the brain, responds not to perfection, but to repetition. Think of it like brushing your teeth. One brushing doesn't make a difference, but brushing daily protects you for decades. The same is true for your brain health and your stroke risk. Drinking water first thing in the morning, stepping outside into sunlight, breathing deeply, moving lightly. None of these things feel dramatic in the moment. But done daily, they protect your vessels, balance your hormones, and lower your risk of stroke more powerfully than any single pill. I've had men tell me, "Doctor, I only tried your breathing exercise for 2 days and nothing happened." And I gently remind them, you didn't lose your strength, your energy, or your clarity in 2 days. It took years. But the beauty is, in just weeks of daily practice, your body will respond. And they always come back later, amazed at how much better they feel when they commit to the routine. Discipline doesn't have to feel like punishment. In fact, it can be a source of pride. Every morning when you choose a healthy action, you are proving to yourself that you are still in control. You are showing your brain that you value your life and your loved ones. That pride builds confidence, and confidence builds energy. So here's the key. Don't worry about doing everything at once. Choose 1 or 2 habits and practice them daily, like clockwork. Over time, your body will reward you with clearer thinking, steadier movement, and a stronger sense of vitality. Because the truth is, longevity isn't built in a single day. It's built in the rhythm of small, disciplined steps, repeated over time. If you've made it this far with me, I want to thank you, because it tells me something important about you. You care about your health, your brain, and your future. And that choice, to learn, to listen, to prepare, already sets you apart. I want to leave you with this truth. Aging is not the end of your story. It's simply the beginning of a new chapter, one that can be filled with strength, clarity, and purpose, if you choose it. Too many men in their 60s and 70s accept decline as inevitable. They assume that foggy memory, weakness, and stroke risk are simply part of getting old. But the science, and my experience with countless patients, shows the opposite. With the right habits, with safer movement, with good food, with hydration and sunlight, you can reverse much of that decline. You can feel alive again. Imagine yourself 1 year from now, You wake up without heaviness in your head. You stretch easily without pain. You step outside into the morning light and feel energy, not fatigue. Your grandchildren look at you with admiration because you are not sitting on the sidelines. You're part of their lives, their games, their memories. That vision is not a fantasy. It's waiting for you on the other side of consistent, small steps taken today. So here is my call to you. Don't just watch this video and move on. Take one action right now. Fill a glass of water and set it on your bedside table for tomorrow morning. Write down one habit you're committed to starting. Tell a loved one about the choice you're making so they can support you. These are the first steps in protecting your brain, lowering your stroke risk, and reclaiming the vitality that is still inside you. Because here's the truth. Your best years are not behind you. They can still be ahead of you, stronger, sharper, and more joyful than you imagine. But only if you decide today to make them so. And I believe you can. One of the most powerful lessons I've learned as a brain doctor is this. Men who age well almost never do it alone. The truth is, health is not just about biology, it's about connection. When you feel supported, when you share your goals with others, and when you surround yourself with people who encourage you, your brain and your body respond in extraordinary ways. Think about it. Loneliness is one of the most silent yet dangerous health risks for men over 60. It increases blood pressure, raises stress hormones, and even worsens memory decline. On the other hand, men who maintain friendships, stay connected with family, or even join walking groups or community clubs live longer, feel younger, and have sharper brains. Why? Because human connection reduces stress, balances hormones, and gives purpose. I've seen this in my patients countless times. A man who tries to change his health alone will often give up when he feels tired or discouraged. But a man who walks every morning with a friend, or cooks healthy meals with his wife, or joins a group of men his age for light exercise, he sticks with it. And not only does he live longer, but he enjoys that life so much more. So here's my encouragement to you. Don't carry this journey alone. Tell a friend about what you learned today. Invite your spouse or a neighbor to join you in a morning walk. Share these habits with your children or grandchildren, not just for your sake, but to inspire them too. You'll be amazed how much more motivated you feel when health becomes something you share, not something you hide. Remember, the brain thrives on purpose, and nothing gives a man greater purpose than knowing he is connected, supported, and still an active part of the lives around him. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are part of a larger story, and your health can inspire everyone in it.